Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to show you how we can draw this hyper realistic cat. So the technique which I have used here is very much similar to this dog drawing. However, there are few changes which I have made out here, and I have gone into the detailings of how you can create various types of fur, thick fur or thin fur, like what materials you can use to do this fur in various type of subjects. So we will go into details in the tutorial. So without further ado, let's get to it.
So first of all, we are going to draw the basic structure of the cat. So I'm going freehand for this, but see, even when I'm going freehand, I'm still using the guidelines, the T structure. It is very important that you know how to use the T structure. That way you can get the alignment of the eyes right, the centering of the nose right, and lot more thing, be it cat, dog, or human being, or any other subject. This T structure is probably the most important and the most basic of basic drawing. So see how I'm going freehand for this, and I have kept the the darkness little bit higher on the higher side, so that you are able to observe the structure. And see, I am marking the detailings as well, like I always do. So the techniques used out here are pretty much similar to the dog drawing which we did, the Labrador black dog. So first of all, I'm using white out here and in the same direction of the flow of the fur. So now I'm applying flesh tint in those areas where I want the flesh tint to appear when I scratch. Always remember that the base should be of the color which you want to appear after applying or after scratching. So here I'm applying dark brown, and see how I am following the direction of the fur. See, I am going for the detailings as well. Now there are few things which you will find different in this drawing, which is very important. All the time the dogs which you will draw, or the cats you will draw, or anything you will draw, might not be of black color where you will just scratch and something white will appear from underneath. Sometimes you might have to blend like this. See how I am using the earbud to blend the colors. Once you blend the colors, what happens is that it mixes with the white underneath. Now what will happen is that it will take away some of the white. So now you are left with very less white that can appear. Okay, so now I'm marking the area which will be visible in very in a whitish tone, or in a light tone where the light haven't reached much. So see, I'm blending out all the fur areas to get this dark tone color. And see, after I blend it, you see the grayish brown mixture of color that you are getting. Scratching on that is little bit tricky, so I'll go into details when I get to the scratching part. So see how I have blended those areas but in the direction of the fur, and I use some white, some more flesh tint, and here I am using some brown, little bit of black to make it a bit darker. So I'm using the used Q-tip or the earbud to give that blurry effect. I'm just blending out the edges so that it looks like it's a blurred out area. See here I'm using the Q-tips in some of the white areas as well, because no matter how dark or bright you see, it's not actually a perfectly clean white. Okay, so here I am giving dark green for the eyes. And see here I am doing some more much more blending in the interior of the ears, because the fur out there will be of big furs. So see here I am using my empty pen to give the strokes, and here I am using my white pencil to give the strokes. Just check out the difference in them very closely. Then I am using both out here. See how I am using the both. So the thing is that when you have already lost some of the white, what happens is that you have to apply a bit more pressure to expose the bottom layer of white, but in that process you might not get sharp edges in the areas where you need. In that case you can use the pen, the empty pen. Remember, the empty pen which I use is a ballpoint pen, so it has a ball tip. See here I am using sometimes I'm using my scissor to do the little bit of scratching. In fact, most of the scratching out here has been done with the combination of scissor, this white pencil, and I tried out the knife but it didn't work very well. So scissor, white pen, white pencil, and the empty pen. Suppose you need to scratch out an area. See how I'm scratching out those areas with a scissor. Why I'm using scissor out here? So scissor is a sharp object. It doesn't have a round tip. It is sharp. It gives very sharp strokes. So I needed those sharp strokes out here for the small furs, which will be very much prominent. For those areas I needed sharp strokes of fur. That's why I used the scissor. At some of the places where I needed little bit of thick strokes, I would say, but sharp strokes, there I used my empty pen. And then wherever I needed those blended effect, I used my white pencil. And the very last, where I needed to show the contrast between the whites, I used my white pen. So see here I am using my scissor to do those scratching. See, even in those white areas I intentionally dirtied them with little bit of black, which I just rubbed over those areas so that the white doesn't look perfectly white, what will happen is that when you will scratch out those areas, the bottom white is completely, untouched white. So what will happen is that white will look very bright. It will create a contrast, and just when you add the white pen to it, what will happen is that it will create three layers of white, actually three gradations of white, which will give that, reflections, or you can say sharp look. So see, at some places I'm using my white pencil, some scissors. See, here I'm using the scissor, and see, here I'm using the white pencil again. Here I'm just blending out some of the areas. With the white pencil, I'm exposing some of the fur, as well as I'm blending out few areas. I needed some, thick furs as well in some of the areas. There I use my white pencil. So see, here I need thick areas, thick furs, okay, which will be, quite visible, and I need the bottommost perfect white. So that's what I tried to get in the ear zones. So see, once I have already done the scratching, it's very, with light to medium pressure, I'm applying black and I'm creating the patterns. So what it will do is that now the black, white, brown combination will appear much more brighter and prominent. When you take away some of the layerings or through scratching, what happens is that the intensity of black might reduce. But once you start giving another layer of black, it will come back, and it will come back in a much more better way. The scratched out areas won't get disturbed, but the remaining areas will get those blacks and will appear much more prominent. The white will look brighter. So see, here I use my white pencil, some scissors as well, and now I'm just applying some black to bring out those areas. Now I'm creating the patterns. I'm creating those fine detailings of patterns. I'm adding little bit of brown, some flesh tint wherever there is necessary, and I'm increasing the intensity of black in just some of the areas. So see, here I applied some black, and although that area has to be completely, the white zone of the cat, but still I'm spreading out some of the black, see, and I'm marking the areas where I will need to put those, darker tones of where the whiskers come out, the zones from where the whiskers come out, that zone. So see, I'm marking out the areas. So see, now I'm using my white pencil to do the furs out here. I wanted that, the dirty white to mix with the good white underneath to create that little bit of blending and bright effect all together. But most of all, I wanted the fur out there in that zone to appear thick, so that it could be visible from a distance. Even if you learn how to draw the fur, another thing which is very important, that you must know how thick the fur should be according to the you know according to the drawing you are drawing, or in comparison to the drawing you are drawing, or with reference to the drawing you are drawing, you have to keep in mind the thickness of the furs, be it cat, dog, or any other animal. You have to keep these things in mind. These are very minute things, but when done correctly gives some brilliant effect. So see, the white zone is almost done. Now we are moving on to the eye section. Our eye is the last zone, so we will try to finish that. And see, here I am using my unused Q-tip to just take off some of the layers from the top, but in a blended way. So I used an fresh I would say fresh earbuds. Now see, I'm using my white pen to create some of those layers. Just check out very carefully the difference of white, okay, and see little bit of shadowing there. So see, I'm not using too much of white pen out here. I'm just using in some of the areas. Remember, using something too much is as harmful as not using anything at all. So there has to be a balance. So don't go overboard, just maintain the balance. Just some of the strokes, you are just you have to show the variations of white. So keeping that in mind, the white that is already there, the darkest white would be of lowest quantity. Like I always say that the reflections should be of lowest quantity, or the point reflection, compared to the other colors. So see, now I'm just darkening some of those areas, and see, I'm using white again. See how bright the white looks in the areas where I use the earbud to take off some of the layering. So now it's time for the eye. I'm just using my extra dark pencil to do those iris areas. So now little bit of dark shadow on the top and very fine touches of black. See, not too much, not too low, and just little bit of blending. Now I'm just using my white pencil to bring out some of the detailings. This is the left eye, but you won't be able to see much of the making of the right eye because of my hand positioning. And see how I'm putting the reflections out here. So the reflection wasn't looking too impressive, so I decided to make it a little bit shorter and more appropriate, I would say. So I'm just repeating the same steps which I did in the earlier or the left eye. Some little bit of blending, and some more detailing with the white pencil. I'm just scratching out those areas. I'm just scratching out some of the detailings. Some white for the maybe some another visible region. And now I will very carefully, taking as much time as needed, I'll be just drawing those whiskers. Remember, even while doing the whiskers, the pressure which you will apply, or I should say the pressure which you need to apply, is again light to medium, or you can say very light to light. Very light, light and medium, because any more pressure from that will destroy the bottom layer, and moreover the pen won't work. White pens don't work very well on oil pastel. With little bit of pressure it goes inside the layer and it won't create anything out there. So it is very necessary that the tip of a white gel pen or whitener, whichever you are using, is just gliding over the surface. So friends, this was the tutorial. We are almost to the end of it. There is not much to do. I'll just draw the remaining whiskers on the left side and then we'll be done. So friends, if you stayed till the last, thanks a lot. It helps a lot. Thank you for watching. And friends, if you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell notification because I upload new videos every week. If you have any suggestion, any question, write down in the comment section below and share as much as you can. So until next time, goodbye.